questions in logical reasoning, different areas in logical reasoning. Then we have gone through like questions in verbal ability, then quantitative ability, that is mathematical ability. So these are the areas we have discussed so far. Now we will take a look at few more questions from verbal ability, then we'll move into logical reasoning. So that's a plan for the day. We'll start from verbal ability, that is English area, then we'll go for clocks that comes under logical reasoning. So let's start from verbal ability. The first type of questions we have is choose this antonym. Antonym, of course, you know what is antonym. It's opposite, right? So take a look at the first few questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 6. I'll just give you like maybe 1.5 minutes to take a look at all these questions, then we'll discuss it. So start from the first one, brisk. Brisk means what? Once you're ready with the answers, you can fire it up in the chat box as well. I hope you can hear me. Okay, let's take a look at first question. Brisk. And this question was for the first test. I had given you a test. You remember the first one, first day we had a test. So that was the word which is given in that test, brisk. And well, many of you got it right, but you know what? More than 50% of you got it wrong. So brisk. Brisk, well, if you know the meaning of brisk, perfectly all right, we'll look for the antonym. If you're not sure about the meaning of brisk, then what we do, we'll take a look at the answer choices. First one is sparky. Well, sparky means something which is sparkling, sparkling clean, something like that, sparky. Quick means fast. And fresh means something which is fresh fruit, something like something really good, something new. And limp means what? Limp walk, walking slow, right? So sparky, quick, fresh, and limp. So if you have around like 3 words with a similar meaning, then definitely we can get the answer. In this case, sparky and fresh, it's relatively same in meaning, so that cannot be the answer. Then quick and limp. Quick is like the opposite of limp. Quick and limp, these are just opposite meaning. So, well, then in that case, we need to really know the meaning of this word. Otherwise, it's pretty hard to proceed. We cannot really get the answer from answer choices. So this case, brisk means it is something like a brisk walk, something which is fast, something quick. So that's a meaning. So opposite must be limp. So we are looking for antonyms. So opposite must be limp is the answer, limp. Now I'll go for abate. I think we have discussed that word earlier, abate. Take a look at that. Abate and abet. Two similar words, meaning is different. Abate. What's the meaning of abate? Abate, the meaning is decline. So in this case, we have decline, that's a synonym, so that cannot be the answer. Subside, that's a similar meaning. And terminate means stop. So these three cannot be the answers. So the opposite of abate must be rise. In this case, it's easy for you to get the answer from answer choices. Decline and subside has the same meaning. And what it's left out is arise and terminate. Terminate is kind of like, what similar meaning with the decline. Decline means goes down, terminate means stopped. So the only thing which goes opposite in meaning is arise. Now next one is detest. So what is the answer for detest? Detest, okay. The answer is exactly, Ria got the answer. So we are looking for the antonym. That's correct. Anyone else has the answer? Donna? Anybody else? Ashish? And I'm waiting for a few more people to have the answer, then we'll discuss it. Benedict? So detest, what if you know the meaning perfectly, all right? If you are not sure about the meaning, we'll look at the answer choice. Loathe, abhor, love, hate. Well, any of these 2 or 3 words has the similar meaning. If you have 2 words of the similar meaning, is there any other word having the same meaning? Hate and loathe, it's the same meaning. And same thing with the abhor as well. So it is all these having the same meaning. So that's the meaning of detest. Detest means hate, abhor, or loathe. So while we are looking for the antonym, the opposite one must be love. So love is the answer. Question number 4, inept. Inept means what? Unskilled, befitting, unfit, incompetent. Opposite of inept. I see the answers from Ashish, Donna. Anybody else? Ria? Alex? Navya? Okay, question for the antonym of that. If you're not sure about the meaning, look at unskilled, befitting, skilled, and pretty much unfit. These three are having the answer as well. So that is not possible. So that means the one which has a different meaning must be the answer. So befitting. So inept means something which is incompetent, who is a person, if it is a person who is incompetent, or if it is something like if it's an article, we are talking about an object, so it must be unfit for that particular use. So anyhow, so opposite of that must be befitting. That's something which is useful, something which is appropriate. That's a meaning, befitting. Question number 5, murky. Murky is what? Yes, I see the answers from Davis, Ashish, Ria, anyone else? So murky means, well, I think we have discussed this word earlier. If you remember the meaning, that's perfectly all right. Otherwise, what we do, look at the answer choice: dark, lucid, obscure, opaque. So opaque, obscure, and dark are having the same meaning, similar meaning. So anyhow, that cannot be the answer. The answer possible answer is lucid. So lucid must be the opposite of murky. So murky is something which is dark, obscure, or opaque, and opposite of that must be lucid. Lucid means clear. The word lucid can be used with the ideas. It can be with the books. It can be with like a liquid or any kind of object. You can say that the glass is lucid. It's clear. That means it's transparent. The book is lucid. That means the idea which is shared in the book is clear. All those kind of things can be used with the word lucid. So it is not really kind of like, restricted for a person or for an object. It can be used for anything which is clear. All right, so erudite. I see the answers from many of you. Good. Alex, Donna, Ashish, Tripta, Renz, Elizabeth, Diana, Jills, Navya. So erudite, well, we need to find the opposite. Erudite is man. We have educated, we have ignorant, literate, studious. So well educated, literate, and studious, these are synonyms. So that cannot be the answer. So then the answer must be ignorant. Ignorant must be opposite of which one? Erudite. So erudite opposite is ignorant. So what's the meaning of erudite? Erudite means a person who is educated, a person literate, and a person studious. So that is what it is. So these are the kinds of like questions you may expect in the actual exam. You may have antonym type questions, synonym type of questions. You may not have 5 or 6 the words to find the antonym or synonym. You may have 1 or 2 for antonym, 1 or 2 for synonym. But you never know what kind of words are expected. So you have to have a pretty good vast idea about the meaning of words, usage of words, pretty much, vocabulary. Your vocabulary is strong. Let's move forward. The next area, this is much more interesting than what we have done right now. It's jumble type. The paragraph presents the jumbled sentence. Arrange the sentences to a meaningful paragraph. So go for it. When you do the arrangement, so these sentences are A, B, C, D. So first one, question number 7, A, B, C, D. So you can arrange it whichever which comes first. You can, for example, C is the first. You can start from C, then B, A, and D, whatever. So check it out and find out the sequence, which is the correct sequence. I see the answers from Alex, Christine, Elizabeth, Tripta, Ashish, Ria. Anybody else? Renz, Angel. Well, most of you are getting the correct answer, but some of you are having a different answer as well. Your starting sentence is same for everybody, but in between there are some kind of different combinations are there. So we'll take a look at it. The sentences are: he was looking forward to opening up the presents in the solitude of his room. Sanjay's birthday was celebrated with a big bash, but the guest insisted he opened them up right there. Several people arrived at his home bearing gifts, both big and small. So, while the starting sentence, everybody agree on that. The starting sentence must be B. Sanjay's birthday was celebrated with a big bash. So, B is the starting sentence. Of course, after B, definitely it must be D, correct? Several people. This is the second one. Several people arrived at his home bearing gifts, both big and small. So, well, B and D. These are the first two sentences. Then the third sentence must be, what is it? Is it the bud guest insisted to open them up right there, or he was looking forward to opening up the presents in the solitude of his room? Which one is going to be the next sentence? Yeah, exactly. So A must be the next sentence. So he was looking forward to opening up those. Well, we are talking about the gift. Gift is given in what? Several people arrived with his home bearing gift, both big and small. So we are talking about gift in D. So while the continuation of that, he was looking forward to opening up what? The gift, the presence in the solitude of his room. So A. Then C is what actually he was looking forward for that opening up in the solitude of his room, but the guest insisted he opened them up right there. So that is going to be the last one. So that's C. B, D, A, C. This is pretty simple question, simple paragraph. And if you get the answer, really good. Others, take a look at it, where exactly you went wrong. So by that learning, where exactly you went wrong, if you get an idea, then use that idea where it is bit more, little more complicated. First of all, which one is going to be the first sentence? So if you can find out the first sentence, of course, well, maybe 25% of the job is done. So I got an answer from Christine. Anybody else? Ashley, Christine, and Ashley so far. Christian, Ashley, Ashish, Donna, Alex, Sonia, Donna, Tripta, Navya. Well, we have two sentences, two starting sentences from your answers. Some of you have started with A and some of you have started with C. So there are two possibilities I see here in your answers. Then apart from that, how the structure. If you start from A, what is after that? If you start from C, what is after that? Well, interesting part of this question, each one of your answer, well, it's starting from C or A, doesn't matter, then the answer is pretty different from the other person's answer. So that means the question is a bit complicated, bit time consuming. So these kind of questions, the only thing that can help you, it is your ability or your experience in reading English topics, whatever it is. It is related to your subject, or it is like a novel or any kind of books, even newspaper. So if you are in a position from your experience, from your usage of English, that experience, if you are able to connect the sentences, then that's the best way to find the answer. There is no other way. Okay, I have more answers from now Alex, Diana, Ria. So let's take a look at it. You start from A, the point storage structure. So if it is A, then what would be the next sentence? After A, it could be C, right? Okay, C, the marble structure that we call Taj Mahal is apparently 3-story to a casual observer. Any kind of issues with that? The point I'm making that Taj Mahal, so it's already Taj Mahal is introduced in the first sentence, A, if we take A as the first one. Then we go for C, the marble structure that we call Taj Mahal. So that means, you know what, the sentence C is really introducing Taj Mahal, the marble structure that we call Taj Mahal. That seems like, you know what, seems like something which is appropriate for the first sentence. So that case, ASC may not be the best choice. How about like C? If it is C is the first sentence, then which one would be the next sentence after C? Which one would be the next one? A. Well, the marble structure that we call Taj Mahal is apparently 3-storied to the casual observer. Then we go for A. The point I'm making is that Taj Mahal is actually a 7-storied structure. Possible. So CA is a possibility. Is there any other possibility other than A after C? E, correct? Okay. So, well, it says C says that the marble structure Taj Mahal is apparently 3-storied to a casual observer, but that means it's a continuation of that sentence, but. Okay. So that case, but, that means E. But if we add the grave level below the ornamental cenotaph as well as the large hall in the dome, we can recalculate the structure is actually 5-storied. So we are reached up to 5 stories. It started from 3. So first sentence says that what? It's a 3-storied building. Now it's 5-storied. So C and E. What is next after E? A. The point I'm making is that the Taj Mahal is actually a 7-storied structure. Okay, so CEA possible. Anything else? CEF. Another possibility is CEF. So F is what? After this 5 stories, it says that behind this plinth is a row of arches and 24 sealed rooms. Okay, so if it is F, after F is what? The app center, yeah, that's correct. No, actually says beta, somebody said delta as well. So now you look at F, behind this plinth is a row of arches and 24 sealed rooms. We are talking about 24 sealed rooms. Now look at B and C. B says also below this plinth there are 2 more stories. And D says these 24 rooms were sealed at the time of Shah Jahan. So that means D, delta is the continuation of F. So after CEF, it must be D, delta. Then after D, there must be beta. That means also below the plinth are 2 more stories that reach down here to the river level. So that is beta. What is after that? Definitely, what is left out? Left out is A. So A says the point I'm making is that the Taj Mahal is actually a 7-story structure. That would be the concluding sentence. That's one possibility. The other possibility what we have is CEA. Somebody has the answer choice starting from CEA. After A, what is it? After A, C is all, I mean C and E has already been here. After A, what is it? Actually, we have to go for F or something like that. But after A, the point I'm making is that Taj Mahal is actually a 7-story structure. Then after that, if we go for F, behind this plinth, so that there's no connection at all. So CEAF cannot be the best answer. Now if you go for CA, first one is C, then A, then which one could be the next sentence? Definitely it must be E. However, C, A are perfectly connected. I mean, C, E are perfectly connected. A in between doesn't make a logical sense. So that cannot be the answer. Now, if you start from A, is that okay? The point I'm making is that Taj Mahal is actually a 7-story structure. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know what? After A, I mean, we have A first, then if C comes after that, C again introduces Taj Mahal in a better way. That means it must be the introduction sentence. So C must be the first sentence. So C is 1, E is 2, F is 3, D 4, B is 5, and A is 6. That must be the perfect order. And if you have any kind of questions, feel free to ask me right away. So these are the questions you can expect. And well, some of the exams, your questions may be a little more challenging than this. Be aware of that. So always remember one thing, practice can help you a lot. Practice means, well, self-practice, or you can practice in this kind of sessions, you can have practice, doesn't matter. So do as much as you can and take advantage of all the resources available from different directions. It could be online, it could be offline, it could be from like a classroom, it could be from your friends, doesn't matter. Okay, let's move on. One word substitute, the one who compiles dictionaries. That's something interesting, that 4 questions, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Yes, I see the answer from Renz. Tripta, Anish, Christine. Elizabeth, Navya, Alex. You know what? This is what the challenge of the English language. Usually, when we prepare for a competitive exam, we may think logical reasoning and mathematical ability questions are the toughest one. Well, it's true up to a certain extent, but you know what? Those areas, logical reasoning and mathematics, you can improve in a few months. But English, that improvement in English language takes a bit of longer time. So you need to be really aware of it. These kind of things, usually the candidates, usually they think, it's not your fault. Everybody, they think that English I can handle. So they may not really spend a lot of time preparing English language. That's the issue. This question, look at it. Looks like a simple question, but hardly one or two of you got the answer, correct answer. So I appreciate them. And I see three of you got the answer. All right, so one who compiles dictionaries. The first thing would come to our mind, something related with the dictionary, and the first answer choice which is given as dictionarian. However, there is no such word in dictionary. That word itself is wrong. So that cannot be the answer. So that's a misleading answer. Always aware of that. That's a misleading answer. Second one, cartographer. Cartographer is what? The person who makes what? Cartographer. Any idea? And how about lexicographer? Cartographer, you're right. The person who makes maps is known as cartographer. So that cannot be the answer. Lexicographer. So what is a lexicographer? If you know the meaning of a synonym of dictionary, if you heard about lexicon, dictionary is lexicon. So if you know that word, definitely you can get it from here, lexicographer. Yeah. And linguist. Linguist is a person who uses language, any language. Doesn't mean that that person writes like, dictionary. A linguist is a person who uses language or expert in language. So the answer is lexicographer. The art of making fireworks. Anything related with the fire, you know what? The root word for fire is pyro. Pyro. So if it is like that's pyrophobia. And pyrometer. What is pyrometer? Something to measure fire. How you can measure the fire? Is it possible to measure fire? Well, you can measure the temperature. So pyrometer is something to measure the high temperature. It's not like normal thermometer. It's high temperature like more than 500 or 1000 degrees. So something to measure high temperature is pyrometer. Of course, the art of making fireworks. So fireworks, that's the casual name or the casual word we use. At the same time, that's a synonym of what? Pyrotechnics. Pyrotechnics. Formally, the fireworks is called pyrotechnics. Now, number 11, undue favor shown by a person in power. This question was in our test. All right, so most of you got the answer now. Earlier, I remember that time when you appeared for that test, most of you have given the answer favoritism. Well, favoritism, you know what? It can be shown by a person in the power to anybody, not supposed to be the relatives. For example, like a minister A, A minister is showing favoritism to a people he likes for some reason. So that is favoritism. But that minister A is appointing his niece or nephew or his some relative in like some other company or some other position. That is undue favor to the relatives. So that is known as nepotism. So nepotism is the answer here. Favoritism, of course, that is not for relatives. It could be to any people. All right, so 12. Scientific study of fungi. Yeah, I see the answers from many of you, and you got the correct answer as well. Mycology. What is a study of insects? Insects. Scientific study of insects. Scientific study of rocks. Scientific study of codes. Code. Any idea? Insects is entomology. Anything related with insects is entomology. Phobia related with insects is entomophobia. Okay, rocks is geomorphology. Well, definitely that's correct answer. At the same time, there's another word for that. Usually, why this petrol is called petrol? Any particular reason? Petrol is called petrol. Why it is petrol? So petrol come from where? Sedimentary rocks, right? The in root word, the rock is known as petra. So petrol is something what comes from petra, sedimentary rocks, right? So actually it comes from rock layers. It's not from inside the rock, but from rock layers. So that way it is known as petrology. And Benedict says that term geomorphology. That is correct, but it is a bit more scientific. There's nothing wrong with that. It's too scientific, and usually rock, it's known as petrology. Study of rocks is known as petrology. And study of codes. What is the study of codes? Code, coding, decoding, those kind of things. Code. Yes, cryptology. Ashish got the answer. Cryptology. And many other things are there. Study about like root of origin of words. What is it? The study of origin of words or root of words. What is it? You must have studied that in the school. Study of the origin of words, English words or any other words. That is called etymology. E-I-E-T-R-Y-M-O-L-O. Etymology. Okay, so that is what the verbal ability area for the day. Now we just move on to the logical reasoning part. Any questions from this area, what we have discussed so far? Any questions, means any kind of confusions, anything? Everything is all right? Okay, now let's get into what clocks. Clocks is the first area we discussed today from logical reasoning. So let's take a look at what clocks. That's really interesting. This is something we use every day. Either you have a watch or you look at the clock many times a day. It could be digital or analogical. I mean, analog clock, doesn't matter. So now we'll take a look at an analog clock. Most of the time, you know what, analog related clocks, analog clock related questions that appears in competitive exam. So this is a clock. And I'm just going to mark something here. So what time is it now? And everybody knows that it's 12 o'clock. Yeah, correct. It's 12 o'clock. Now, The long one, what we have here, that's a minute hand. That's in the pink color. This is what the pink color minute hand. So if this minute hand, if it moves from here, moves from this 12, and it goes all the way around. So let's say this minute hand moves from here, it goes all the way around, and it comes back to 12. It comes back to 12. So how long it will take for the minute hand to come back to the 12? What do you think? Yeah, that is 60 minutes, correct. 1 hour. In 1 hour, for example, if you look at the clock at 12 o'clock, and how do you say it is 1 o'clock? After 1 hour, the hour hand moves from 12 to 1, and the minute hand goes all the way around and comes back to 12. That's the time 1 o'clock. So I'll just mark it over here. So this is going to be the time. This is 12, and this is the time 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock, the hour hand would be at 1. So that's the case. So actually it takes what? 12 hours for the clock, for that minute hand to go all the way around and comes back to 12, 1 hour, exactly 1 hour. Now in that 1 hour, it goes around what? One full circle, is it? One full circle. So if it is one full circle, how many degrees that? One full circle means how many degrees? 360 degrees. So in 60 minutes, we are talking about minute hand. In the minute hand, in 60 minutes, it goes all the way around one full circle. So that's 360 degrees. So in 60 minutes, it travels 360 degree. So if that is the case, in 1 minute, it travels what? 360 by 60, correct? That's 6 degrees. So this is an important thing for the minute hand. Always remember this in clocks related questions. The minute hand travels 6 degrees in every minute on a normal clock. Well, if it is a clock which is fast or slow, that's a different case. But if it's a normal clock, minute hand travels 6 degrees in every minute. Now we look at the hour hand. Hour hand. We just call it HH, hour hand. You see this hour hand is here at 12 in the first picture. This is picture number 1. And this hour hand goes all the way around and comes back to this 12. How long will it take for that journey? How long it will take for the hour hand to move from that 12 and comes back to 12? It will take 12 hours. That's correct, 12 hours. And in 12 hours, it moves what? How many degrees? One full circle. Yes, 360 degrees. So in 12 hours, 360 degree. If that's the case, 1 hour means 1 hour, how many degree? 360 by 60 minutes. In 60 minutes, it moves 30 degrees. In 60 minutes, 1 hour is 60 minutes. So 60 minutes, 30 degree. So how about 1 minute? Yeah, 1.5, exactly, half degree. So this is important for the hour hand. Hour hand moves half degree in every minute. And in 1 hour, it moves what? 30 degrees. 30 degrees in 1 hour and half degree in 1 minute. Now look at the second picture here. Second picture, we have this one is here, 1 is marked. What is the angle between 12 and 1? These two markings. This is 12 and this is 1. So what is the angle between these two? Any idea? Okay, Tripta says it's 30 degree. Anyone has a, yeah, many of you got the answer. Good, I appreciate it. So, well, how do you say that this 30 degree? Based on what logic? You can think about it in different ways. Like this is, yeah, 360 by 12. So this is 12 divisions on the clock, because the clock is divided as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 divisions. If 12 divisions and total is 360, one full circle is 360. 360 by 12 is 30 degree. That is perfectly all right. There is another way of looking at it. See that at 12 o'clock, the hour hand is at this point. Our hand is here. This is what the hour hand. And at 1 o'clock, the hour hand is here. This is what the hour hand is. So this is the angle with 12 o'clock, our hand was here. Now 1 o'clock, our hand is here. So actually, this hour hand came to 1 o'clock from 12 o'clock in 1 hour. In 1 hour, the hour hand moves what? 30 degrees. In 1 hour, our hand moves what? 30 degrees. So this is what? 30 degrees. So the angle between any 2 points, for example, if it is 3, it is marked as 3. And if this is 4, the angle between 3 and 4 again is 30 degree. And 5 and 6 is 30 degree. 10 and 11 is 30 degree. So these are the basics of clock related questions. If you have any kind of doubt, feel free to ask me right away. If everything is good, we'll get into the questions. Yeah, of course, you have shown me different ways of calculating this 30 degree. I have seen from your answers in the chat box. I appreciate it. Keep it up. Now, the first question. So how many degrees an hour hand moves in 18 minutes? So 18 minutes. Our hand 1 minute half degrees, correct? So 18 minutes, half of that. So 9. It's a straightforward question. It's pretty simple question. Don't expect this kind of questions for the real exam. This is pretty much, you know what, a warm-up question for you. Number 2, how many degrees a minute hand move when the hour hand moves 10 degrees? How many degrees a minute hand move? That's a question. When the hour hand moves 10 degrees. Take a look at it. See the answers from Donna. Donna, Alex, Renz. Anybody else? We have more answers from Elizabeth, Sujitra. Okay, many of you got one answer and some of you have a different answer as well. So take a look at it, whether you how many degrees a minute hand move when the hour hand moves 10 degrees. So our hand, we are talking about our hand. Our hand moves 10 degrees. So our hand moves 10 degrees in what time? 10 degrees in what time? Our hand moves half degrees in 1 minute, correct? Half degree in 1 minute. then in order for the hour hand to move 1 degree, it requires what? 2 minutes. 1 degree, it's 2 minutes. If it is 10 degree, how many minutes it's required for the hour hand? So what do you think? 20, correct? 20 minutes required for the hour hand to move 10 degrees. So that's 20 minutes. That's something important for us. In that 20 minutes, how many degrees a minute hand move? So the hour hand moved that 10 degrees, what, in 20 minutes. In that 20 minutes, of course, a minute hand must be moving as well. Minute hand is not standing somewhere to wait for the hour hand. Minute hand is keep on going. So right in that 20 minutes, what is the, or how many degrees the minute hand move? So in 1 minute, minute hand, 1 minute, 6 degrees, correct? 1 minute, 6 degrees. So in 20 minutes, 20 into 6, 120 degrees. And most of you got that answer correct. I appreciate that. 120 degrees. Number 3, question number 3, go for it. Yes, I see the answers from Donna, Alex, Renz. The question seems like a straightforward question. And of course, some of you got the answer correct as well. So here, Jnanendra observes the reflection of a huge wall clock in a mirror placed on the opposite building. So it is something like, you know what, the clock in the collectorate, you must have seen that clock in the collectorate. So something like a huge wall clock. And the reflection of that wall clock in a mirror placed opposite building. If you go to Kottayam town, probably you see that the collectorate, there is a clock. Most of the time you can see the reflection of the collectorate in the Pico building, where you Alan Solly, not Alan Solly, what is it? There's a brand, multinational brand of shirts is there. I think Polo, yes. So you can see the reflection of, yeah, yes, correct, US Polo, you're right. So you can see the reflection on that US Polo building. So this is what exactly the situation. These are the, you know, what happens, and many times it happens like in practically as well. So you have to have a pretty good idea about, if you see the reflection, what is the original time. So Jnanendra observes the reflection of a huge wall clock in a mirror placed opposite building. So the time observed by Jnanendra in the mirror is 3:20. So 3 hours 20 minutes. So if it is 3 hours 20 minutes, that's a mirror image. Then what would be the original time? So either what you can do, you can draw this 320 on a piece of paper. 320. 320 means the hour hand must be somewhere here and the minute hand would be somewhere here. So you can draw it on a piece of paper and turn that paper and look it from the other side of the paper. Then what exactly you see there, that would be the answer. That's one way of doing it. But it may not be really practical every time, especially when you are in an exam hall, all those kind of situations. For that, what we suggest is always go for subtract this from 12 o'clock, because if a clock, if it is mentioned specifically, then that must be the way it is mentioned. If it is nothing specifically mentioned, it's a normal clock. Normal clock means it's a 12-hour clock. It's not a 24-hour clock. Only railway clock is 24-hour clock. So if it is a 24-hour clock, they'll mention that, okay, this is a specific clock, that's 24-hour clock. If it is nothing mentioned here, in this case, it is nothing specifically mentioned. It says it's on the clock. That's a normal clock. So it's a 12-hour clock. So if it is 12-hour clock, we'll subtract 320 from 12. So when you subtract, what do you get? 8, correct? Now what is it? 11 and 3, correct? What is it? Balance 8. So 880. How do we get the same time 880? I never heard of that such a time. Because it's 60 minutes. It's 1 hour, right? 860 means it's 9 o'clock. Then how come this 880? So if you take it as 880 as what? 860 is 9 o'clock, then 20 minutes more. So if you take it as 920, that could be the answer we are getting from here. Is it a correct answer? And none of you got the answer 920. Some of you got 940, some of you got 840. So what is the issue here? Issue is with the calculation. See that when you take 12, this one, this is what? 0, 0. If you take it as 0, 0, probably you take it as 100, right? So, well, yeah, you are right, Ria. Instead of 12, you have to write what? 1160. Always when you do this kind of clock calculation, instead of 12, you write it 1160. Instead of 24, you write it as 2360. So 1160 minus 320, 320. Now you do the calculation, you get the answer. So 840 is the answer. Perfectly all right. So the answer is 840. Any questions? If you have anybody, any kind of confusion, feel free to ask me. Seems like everything is good. Let's move forward. Question number 4, take a look at it. Yes, I see the answers from Alex, Tripta, Paulvin, Ashish, Renz. Anybody else? A clock. This is what a clock, and what the time we have is 7:30. So let's mark 7:30. So that's a minute hand, and our hand would be right. How the clock looks like at 7:30. Now this is 6 o'clock, and this is 9, right here 9. And in between, of course, we have what? 8, 7, all those kind of things. 7 is here, 8 is here. So what is the answer? So from the observation, we can get the answer here. Between this 9 o'clock and 6 o'clock, I mean 6 marking here, what is the angle between 9 and 6? Angle between 9 and 6? See that this angle? That's 90 degree. Yes, Ashish says it's 90 degree. So now the hour hand is exactly between 9 and 6. See that? The hour hand is exactly between 9 and 6. So that means it must be exact half of 90. So that must be what? 45 degree. That is one way of doing the question. There is another way of doing it. See that between 6 and 7, what is the angle between 6 and 7? We know the angle between two consecutive markings is 30 degree, correct? 6 and 7 is 30 degree. Now between 7 and 8, it is another 30 degree. However, now this our hand is exactly between 7 and 8. So half of 30 degree means 15 degrees. So 30 plus 15, 45 degree. So that's another way of doing it. Or you have a formula, if you like maths, this is what? Theta is equal to 11 by 2 m minus 30h. And we have modulus sign as well. So whatever comes inside will take only the positive value. So in this case, theta, we need to find theta angle. 11 by 2m. So 11 by 2m. What is time given here? 7:30, correct? 7:30. So m is 30 minutes and our h is 7. So 7 is h and m is 30. So 11 by 2 into 30 into h is 7. Now do the calculation. Well, 30 by 2 is what? 30 by 2, 15. 15 into 11, 165. So 165 minus 30 into 7, 210. So 210 and 165 difference is minus 45. So minus 45, since we have this modular sign, we'll take only positive part of that. So it's going to be 45 degrees. So this question, we don't need this formula, but some of the questions which are really complicated than this, probably that situation, we need the formula. This case, the question, answer can be get through that observation method. When you look at it, you get the answer, it's 45 degree. You don't need formula or anything like that. Okay, now let's proceed. Another question just in front of you is 420. Find the angle between two hands of the clock at 420. Question number 5. Yes, I see the answers. Alex, Ashish, runs. Paul, now let's move on. Question number 6. Take a look at question number 6. And you can take a look at question number 7 as well. (8:35) is a given time, right? What is the reflected time? So in case of reflected time and original time, whatever is the given time, that must be subtracted from 12. So 12 means 1160. 1160 minus 8:35. So that means 325. Answer is 325. Go for 7. Question number 7. By the way, we'll go up to 4 o'clock today for your information. I see the answers from Brents. Anybody else? Ashish, Ashin, Alex, Ashish, Donna, and Alex Anthony. Anyone else? Ria? So let's try this. Question number 7, find the angle made by the minute hand when the seconds hand makes 3 full circles around the clock. So we are talking about seconds hand. Usually in questions, if it is not specifically mentioned about the seconds hand, we don't need to consider seconds hand. If the question talks about 2 hands of the clock, 2 hands, which are the 2 hands the question talks about? Clock, it must be minute hand and hour hand. Now this question is clearly talks about seconds hand. So find the angle made by the minute hand when the seconds hand makes 3 full circles. Seconds hand, well, if it starts from 12 o'clock, when it goes around the clock and it comes back to 12, how long it will take? Each 1 second it moves. So it takes what? 60 seconds for one complete rotation. So this case, seconds hand make 3 full circles, 3 full circles. So that means it will take 3 minutes. So find the angle made by the minute hand when the seconds hand make that 3 full rotation. So the time is 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, what is the angle made by the minute hand? Minute hand, 1 minute, 6 degrees. So 3 minutes, it must be what? 18 degrees. So the answer is 18 degrees, and many of you got the answer 18 degrees. Perfectly all right. If this question asked in a slightly different way, in that 3 minutes, in that 3 rotation time, what is the angle made by the hour hand, then what would be your answer? So what is the angle made by the hour hand in 3 minutes? It's going to be 1.5 degrees. So you need to be aware of that if it is hour hand. But in this case, our question is what? Minute hand. Since it's a minute hand, the answer is 18 degrees. So the answer is 18 degrees. And well, as I said, many of you got the answer. I appreciate, and some of you got slightly different answers. So probably I think you thought about hour hand rather than minute hand. That's the reason you got the different answer. Okay, that's fine. Let's move on. Question number 7 is done. 8. Answers, question number 8. From Donna Renz. Alex. So what is happening here? 5 p.m. Monday. So 5 p.m. Monday. A watch that was 3 minutes slow. So it was 3 minutes slow. So if it is 3 minutes slow on 5 p.m., the actual time shown by the watch must be 4:57. It is 3 minutes slow. So the time shown by the watch is 4:57. And what happens after that? The same watch is 3 minutes fast on Tuesday 5 p.m. So 5 p.m. Tuesday, that watch is 3 minutes fast. It was slow, now it is 3 minutes fast. So if that is the case, when did the watch show the correct time? So you know what? This watch was slow. It was 3 minutes behind the time. So it was 5 p.m. The watch was showing only 4:57. Now on Tuesday, what happened? At 5 p.m., the watch is showing 5:03, 3 minutes after 5. So actually this was slow, now it is fast. So what must be happened in between? Means it was slow for 2 minutes, then it was slow for just 1 minute, then it was just 0 minutes slow. That means it was showing the correct time. Then later it gained further. So from 0 minutes slow, it gained 1 more minute. That means it's 1 minute fast. Then it's 2 minutes fast. Then 3 minutes fast. This is what actually happened. So, well, then this clock somewhere or this watch somewhere must have shown the correct time in between. In between what? 5 p.m. Monday and 5 p.m. Tuesday. It must have shown the correct time. So, where exactly it must have shown that correct time? Correct time, when it has shown that correct time, this is what? The clock was 3 minutes slow, right? So it must have gained another 3 minutes. So it must have gained 3 minutes in order to show the correct time. Now, from that correct time, now it is 3 minutes fast on Tuesday. So it must have gained another 3 minutes. So total time gain is what? 6 minutes. Total time gain 6 minutes. It was 3 minutes slow. That was -3. Now it is +3. So -3 to +3, what is the time gained? -3 to 0, it must have gained 3 minutes. Then 0 to 3, it must have gained another 3 minutes. So total 6 minutes gained. 6 minutes. So total 6 minutes gained in what time? 5 p.m. Monday to 5 p.m. Tuesday, in 24 hours. So 6 minutes gained in 24 hours. So in order for this watch to show the correct time, it must gain 3 minutes. It must gain 3 minutes. In order to gain 6 minutes, it needs 24 hours. So in order to gain 3 minutes, it needs what? Half of 24 hours. What is it? 12 hours. So that 12 hours from where? 12 hours from the starting point. Starting point is what? 5 p.m. Monday. 5 p.m. Monday plus 12 hours. What is it? 5 a.m. Tuesday. So that's the answer. 5 a.m. Tuesday. So this is one of the simplest question in that category. If you look at that, So this is 3 minutes slow, then 3 minutes fast. Some of the questions they may say, you know what, the clock was 5 minutes slow, and later it is 6 minutes fast. So then when it must have shown the correct time. So if you are interested, we'll take a look at a question, something like that. A clock which was 5 minutes slow, it is 5 minutes slow. Let's say on a Friday, 11 a.m. And the same clock, it is, we are observing the clock on Sunday, 7 a.m. You see that same clock is 6 minutes fast, 6 minutes fast. Then where exactly the clock must have shown the correct time? So in between somewhere, where is it correct time? Take a look at it. Answers? Yeah, I see from Renz. Good. Anybody else? Apart from Renz, anyone else has the answer? I see the answer from Renz. Alex? Anybody else? Okay, Renz, I see the correction as well. Others, do your best and as quick as possible. Do I have anybody else? Let's try that question. And Navya has an answer as well. So let's try this. 11 a.m. Friday, the clock was 5 minutes slow. On 7 a.m. Sunday, it's 6 minutes fast. So what happened in between? So 5 minutes slow, that watch became 4 minutes, that clock became 4 minutes slow, 3 minutes slow, 2 minutes slow, 1 minute slow, and 0 minutes slow. That means if it is 0 minutes slow, it must have shown the correct time. So that watch or clock must have gained 5 minutes for showing the correct time. Because it's 5 minutes slow, it must have gained 5 minutes to show the correct time. Now, correct time means it is not, it is 0 minutes slow and 0 minutes fast. From that 0 minutes slow or 0 minutes fast situation, now it is what? 6 minutes fast. So it must have gained another 6 minutes. So total time gain is what? 6 plus 5, 11 minutes. 11 minutes. So 11 minutes plus sign indicates that time gain. So 11 minutes gained in what? In how many hours? Look at it from 11 a.m. Friday to 7 a.m. Sunday. 11 a.m. Friday to 11 a.m. Saturday, that is going to be 24 hours. A.m. Sunday, that is another 24 hours, but this is 7 a.m. So 11 minus 4 is 7. So how many? 4 less than 24. So it is 20. So 24 plus 20, 44 hours. So well, 11 minutes gained in 44 hours. So that's what is the time required to gain 1 minute? 1 minute gained in what? 44 by 11. So what is it? 4 hours. So 1 minute gained in 4 hours. So now look at it. This clock will show the correct time if it gains what? 5 minutes. If it gains 5 minutes. In order to gain 1 minute, it requires 4 hours. So in order to gain 5 minutes, it requires what? 5 into 4, 20 hours. So from 20 hours from where? Friday 11 a.m. plus 20 hours. So Friday 11 a.m. plus 24 hours is what? 11 a.m. Saturday. 20 hours means 4 less than that. So what is it? 7 a.m. on, what is it? Saturday. 7 a.m. Saturday. Any kind of confusions? Everything is good? All right. So this is going to be the last question for the day. What is the angle between two hands of the clock at 5:35 p.m.? 5:35 p.m. So we need to find the angle. Angle is what? Theta. Theta is equal to what? Find out. I see the answers from Renz. Anyone else? Benedict? So the simple way of doing that question, theta is equal to what? 11 by 2m minus 30h. I see the answer from Saumi as well. So what we have? 11 by 2 into m. M is what? 35. So m is this case m, 35, minus 30 into h is what, 5, and of course we have the modulus sign. Take a look at it. 35 by 2 is what, 11.5. 11.5 into 11, sorry, 35 by 2 is 17.5. 17.5 into 11, 17.5 into 10, 175. So that 175 plus one more 17.5, correct? So that 175 plus 17.5 is going to be, how much is that? 192.5, is it? 192.5 and minus 150. So the answer what you are getting is 42.5. So well, Benedict goes the answer, and well, Soumya, Renz, anyone else? Anyone of you got the answer, same answer? Now, what I want you to do, so this is just as a practice question, do it later when you get time, today, late in the evening or sometime. What is the angle between two hands of the clock at 9:47 p.m.? 9:47 p.m. What is the angle between? Just a practice question. So what do you need to find out? Angle. Theta is equal to what? All right, it's my pleasure working with you guys, and we'll meet tomorrow. That's a plan. If everything goes well, that means technical issues we have, like, you know what, rain, all those kind of things, internet issue, that's one of the biggest issue we are facing right now. So if everything goes well, I believe everything goes well. If everything goes well, let's see you tomorrow at same time, 2:20. We'll start at 2:30. All right, bye bye.